Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name's Christian and today we're here to talk about the new record from Volumes. It is titled Different Animals. This is the band's third studio record and the follow-up to 2014's No Sleep. This is also the band's first record on their new label Fearless Records, as well as the first record with their new clean and dirty vocalist Mike Terry. So I had no idea what to expect going into this record. I've been a, here and there fan of Volumes over the years, but I know that they're a great band, so I was excited to see what they did with a new vocalist. And this is a record that I think is going to divide a lot of fans and is really split up into two parts, with part one being your typical gent stuff that you would have expected from Volumes, and part two being way more experimental. And I have to say, I really like this record, not all of it, but when it gets it right, it gets it really, really right. So let's get into it. So let's first talk about the sound of this record, and as I said already, this record is basically in two parts, with part one being your typical gent, and then part two being these experimental tracks that go to a lot of different influences, from R&B and rap to metalcore and even some new metal. There's a lot to like here, but unfortunately you have to make your way through some pretty average tunes that take up the majority of the first half of the record. Now, these songs aren't bad, but they are just pretty average, pretty stock standard gent songs. There is a shining light to the first half of this record though, and that would be in the song Finite. Finite is a track that really experiments with its structuring in a really cool way, with the verses being really big and with the choruses being more experimental, more held back and really melodic. I really like that experimentation, and it works especially well with new vocalist Mike Terry. This track will be really good for old fans of Volumes to really create a bridge between the old school Volume sound and this new sound that they're going to experiment with on this record. Instrumentally, there is a lot going on throughout the entire record, but not for every element. There is one element that really seems resistant to change, and that would be in the guitars. The guitars are very one-dimensional and are just going off the typical gent formula, even when everything else surrounding the guitars is trying to do something different. And this is really evident in the outro to Heavy Silence, which is a beautiful song, but closes out with this gent riff that really sounds out of place and lackluster. The drumming on this record, however, is really tight and really drives each track forward really well. On Her Mind is a really good example of this, and it has an awesome groove, especially in the verses, which shows some really technical playing. The transition of interlude into hope is really where the experimentation on this record starts, with interlude being this interlude really that has Mike singing these R&B hooks that sound awesome before launching in to the intro of Hope, which is just rapped vocals. This track has so much groove, and the introduction of rap vocals into the band's sound just is a great breath of fresh air for the record. Now let's get into the vocal performances. Mike Terry is absolutely phenomenal on this record and is an absolutely great addition to this band. I love the tone to his voice. It's very mid-range and has this smoothness to it that just sounds great. And it creates this great contrast between himself and Gus, which really allows each vocalist to stand out when they're at the front and center. And the melodies that Mike is singing sound absolutely huge, especially in the tracks Finite and Pullin Shades. Gus is also fantastic on this record, with his standout moment being on the track Hope, where he raps some great verses. Pullin Shades is my favorite track on the record, and for my money is the true closer to the album. I really wish that Left 4 Dead didn't come in afterwards, because I really feel like Pullin Shades ends perfectly and would be a great way to end the record. I don't think Left 4 Dead should be, taken off the record. I just think it should be earlier on. Pullin Shades has an absolutely massive chorus that will be stuck in your head immediately, and Mike's performance on the entire track is flawless. The new experiment on this record is truly where it shines, and they're not going to nail it on the first try. They're just not going to. When they go back to the standard gent thing, it's where the record falls down. So I'm excited to see where they go from here, and seeing if they take what they experimented with on this record and take it to an even further place on the next one. Old fans of Volumes may push against this record, but hey, if you give it the time, if you actually sit down, just prepare yourself for something different and listen to it, I promise you, you will be rewarded. There are some great songs here. My top three tracks are going to be Finite, Hope, and Pullin Shades, and I'm going to give this record a 3 out of 5. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I will see you next time. Fresh currents.